everyone, welcome to today's Lunch Lesson Live. I'm so glad you're here. Give me a little wave or a thumbs up below. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you are here on the live, watching the day of, or if you're on the replay. Just type replay below. I would love to know who comes the day of and who's coming in the day after. Awesome. So today we are going to talk about Facebook groups, right? I love talking about Facebook groups. If you have a Facebook group, just tell us below. Feel free to drop the link. We would all love to support each other. That's why we're here in this group. We want to support each other, join each other's groups, see what we're all about. So feel free to drop your links below. So today we are going to talk about why you need a Facebook group, right? Why it is so important to your business and how to grow it. Right? Many of you have started a Facebook group, you've got on that train, right? You have started a Facebook group, but you're not quite sure how to grow it and maybe how to turn it into leads for your business. So that's what we're going to talk all about today. So I'm so glad you're here. Awesome. All right. So thank you so much to everyone who voted. Every Tuesday, I put out a poll in this group about what we should talk about. So I would love to hear what you want to talk about for your business. What would be important? What are some burning questions that keep coming up for your business that you think would be helpful? You can always drop your discussion topics below, or you can vote on that poll in the group every Tuesday. You can suggest topics or choose the topics that I put there, and you can vote every week. So thanks so much to everyone who voted. I always like to say this video is for go-getters. If you are here, you are a go-getter. You are a go-getter coach. You are an action taker. You are a business owner, and you are wanting to grow, right? So I'm so glad you're here. This is for you. If you are wanting to grow your business, get more leads every single day, you are in the right place. I think Facebook groups is the most underutilized, perhaps overlooked tool in your marketing toolbox. It can definitely move your business mountains and leaps and bounds forward. So I am so glad you're here. I hope that you will take this to heart and think about creating your Facebook group if you haven't, or think about maybe revamping it, or think about changing some tactics to help you grow every single day. So definitely stick around. This is for you. I like to say in these videos, right, we want to stay in our abundant mindset. To me, abundant mindset is thinking that there are so many possibilities. Everything is possible, right? Whatever you want to change in your life, it is possible. So if you are here, definitely feel free to try to think about your abundant mindset and stay there, not letting fear and lack creep in, right? Those are some really challenging pieces of the emotional tray, right, of a business owner, is not letting fear creep in or recognizing it as just information, right, and not letting it hold you back. So abundant mindset to me is knowing that all things are possible and that you have the ability to change. You can change your tactics, you can change your beliefs, you can change whatever you need to have the life that you want. I really believe that. So I would charge you with taking 2 action items today. So as you're listening to this video, think about 2 things that you can apply to your business. Things that are going to help you move your business forward. That's what we want to take away from today's video, is some action items. You are an action taker, you are a go-getter. So definitely think about those 2 action items that you can take away today. And feel free to share with us below what 2 things you are going to do today to move your business forward. I would love to hear. All right, so I'm so glad you're here. If you're new here, my name is Christina. I have been helping businesses for over a decade, right? I started my first little Etsy shop back in 2010, so that's been a while ago, right? 15 years. So, I learned really quickly that the internet is a giant space, right? Fast forward to 2014, my husband and I opened up a little bike shop, coffee shop. If you've watched any of my videos, I love talking about the bike shop, coffee shop, because I learned so much. I really say that's where I got my marketing degree, right? Because we had to learn by fire, right? If any of you have had a brick and mortar store, right? Tell me your trials and tribulations below, right? It's hard. It's really hard to have, I think, any business, but especially a brick and mortar, right? There are so much more expenses that come with a brick and mortar and so many other unique challenges that we really had to overcome. And it was a challenge, and we loved being a part of this community, and we loved learning what we needed to learn to make that business a success for a couple of years, right? We stayed open for a couple of years. I like to say parts of it were a success. I think every business, right, you learn things, and some things don't go so well, right? So sadly, after 2 years, we had to close our doors, but I learned so much, and I really turned that into my passion to help other business owners, especially women business owners, because I really think it's easy to feel like an island on your own, right? As a business owner, nobody understands exactly my business, exactly what I'm trying to do, exactly my challenges, right? And I'm here to tell you that we are all very much more similar than we are different, right? I think we are all struggling with the very same things. So I think if we can build a community around each other and support each other, I really think with the right access to knowledge and the right support from each other and sharing of that knowledge, we can all grow together, right? We rise together. That is my goal. It is the summer for women business owners. I'm claiming it. This is our year. So stick around. I'm so glad you're here. So with the bike shop, right, I learned a really valuable lesson about Facebook groups. And in our community, right, our local community, Facebook groups are really popular. I'm sure in yours as well, right? There are local Facebook groups for your neighborhood, for your city, all kinds of different Facebook groups. And so really quickly we learned, okay, we can't just create a Facebook profile or an Instagram profile or a profile anywhere and just wait for people to come, right? We can't just post and hope, right? I feel like so often as business owners, we get stuck in that cycle of, well, all I can do is post. That's all I know how to do. I'm just gonna put myself out there, keep putting myself out there, right? And we wait for the right people to find us. And unfortunately, right, that doesn't always work, because what you're really doing is waiting to go viral, right? And if any of you have ever gone viral or seen anyone else go viral, it's such a crapshoot, right? It's like hard to even nail down what those parameters are to make you go viral, and the algorithm changes the very next day, right? So it's just impossible to nail down. We need better tools to help us actually get leads into our business and get the right people to see our information and to help us grow, right? That is the goal. So I really think with the Facebook group, that is where you can do exactly that. So at the bike shop, right, we saw very quickly, okay, we built this beautiful store, we built this beautiful environment, right, where we thought people would love to come, but people were not walking in my door, right? And that is the real challenge, I think, with every business, right? We think if we build it, they will come, right? And unfortunately, that just isn't always the case. I think we feel like all we have control is, okay, I'm gonna set up my shop, I'm gonna put myself out there, I'm gonna post over on my profiles and just wait, right? And unfortunately, it's not always effective that way, right? It's not a great approach because it's a waiting game. We're really just hoping that our message lands on the right ears. And that is where it's really, really challenging. And I think it's hard for especially women to be a bit more direct. So I always say, go where your customer is, right? And that's what I really learned at the bike shop, is that I had to go to them. I couldn't just sit back in my pretty building and wait for people to come in, right? I needed people coming in my door now. I needed them yesterday, right? So I needed to go where they were. And that's where I really feel like the Facebook group helped us create that community. And I think that is so important, because you are capturing their information, right? You are capturing them more so than on your Facebook profile. I also really think that your Facebook profile or your Instagram profile or any of your public profiles or even your personal profile, it's really hard to control who is following you, right? You don't know if people are following you as actual interested customers or just spammers trying to check you out, or your competition, right? Watching what you're doing. You really don't know what their intentions are. And that's okay, right? That's great. They might be in your target audience and they might like your message, but you are not really getting them to take action over there. We really want to find a way to capture our audience from our social media profiles, get their information, and then follow up with them later, right? Warm them up, actually get them into your system to be able to start those conversations, right? Build those relationships. That's really what it takes as a business owner. It is all about building relationships, especially as a coach, right? If you are a coach and wanting to be in front of people, if you are wanting to build relationships and talk to other moms, talk to other coaches, you really got to be starting those conversations, right? It's not enough to just be posting and hoping, unfortunately, right? If you notice your own habits, right, over on Instagram or Facebook, all of us are scrolling, right? We're scrolling through our feed, maybe liking, but very rarely are we clicking, taking action. Very rarely are we taking those steps, right? So it's really hard, I think, to capture your audience from a regular social media profile. So that's where a Facebook group really comes in. And I think it could be applied to a lot of different businesses, right? Especially for coaches, if you're wanting to build those relationships, like I said, definitely the Facebook group allows you to capture. I really think this could also be applied to products, right? If you sell products or other services, a Facebook group is a really great way of capturing your audience and capturing their information, right? The Facebook group allows you to tag people, so you could tag people, you could capture their information, capture their email. Those are really the goals. So separate from your profile, and I think that the content should be separate, right? We don't want to just mimic the same content that we have on our social media profiles over on our Facebook group, right? It's different. We want it to be special for either our VIP customers or our target audience that we have already qualified to get into our Facebook group. So you can not only qualify your audience, but you can capture their information and then warm them up, right? That's really the goal of the Facebook group. So you want your content to be really specific about those things. So we'll talk a little bit more about content in a minute, but I'm going to share with you my 3 ways to grow your Facebook group, right? We kind of talked about the why it's so important, and that main reason is to qualify, right? You want qualified leads coming to your business. So you don't just want your social media profiles to be anybody, right? You have a very specific audience. Hopefully you can define your audience for your business, and you really want those specific people to take action for your business. Whether that's sign up for your email, check out your shop, right? Check out your blog. You want them to take some action and either go to your website or take some other sort of action on like a landing page or capture their email, right? That would really be the goal. And this is where the Facebook group does all of that, right? It allows you with those 3 questions. And if any of you took my challenge, right? I did my 5-day challenge. I think the videos are still up in the group. They're in the featured tab, so you can always check those out, or they're always on YouTube as well. But the challenge, we really went through kind of those 4 steps of defining your audience, qualifying them with the right questions for those in your entry questions for your Facebook group. And then we're going to talk about, right, DMing, and then also engagement and other Facebook groups, right? So those are really kind of the 4 steps, but definitely check out the 5-day challenge if you want to above. But the 3, I think, hot things, the quick ones to grow, the quickest ways to grow your Facebook group is if you've defined your target audience, more than likely you have friends that are in your target audience, right? So, and many of your friends want to support you. So I think one of the quickest ways to grow your group is to invite your friends. So I think that's the number 1 tip, is to invite your friends to your Facebook group. Now, keep in mind that if it is a private, and these are the settings, you want to make sure you have a private and visible Facebook group. So if your Facebook is private but visible, you get to ask those 3 questions before anybody enters, and you get to decide who comes in, right? So if nobody answers your questions, you don't have to let them in. You can then also check out their profile. Even if they don't answer your questions, you could check out their profile and see if they're a total spammer. If they're in your target audience, you may still want to let them in because they might still be warmed up to your content within that group, right? So you never know. So I never say, completely deny everyone who doesn't answer your questions, or you could send them a follow-up DM and be like, hey, I saw that you came in, or you were interested in my group, and then you could ask your questions there if you wanted to. Many people, if you notice your own habits, right, especially if Facebook is suggesting your group, which is kind of what we want, right? We want to have Facebook recommend our group to other people. That's how we're going to get more organic people coming in. If you notice, when Facebook suggests a group to you, you can just join the group, and you don't absolutely have to answer the questions. You can bypass the questions. So especially if people are kind of going through that list of recommended groups, they might just say join group, join group, join group, join group, right? And they don't stop to see that, oh, there's a pop-up for questions, or if they go into that group, it says answer questions. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't answer the questions. They get busy, they get quickly, moving on through their feed. They don't see the questions, a lot of ways, right? So there's definitely reasons to let people in if they don't ask the questions, but the point is that if it's a private and invisible group, you are allowed to ask those 3 questions, and that's really your gold mine, right? That's really where you can capture their information and follow up with them later, right? Capture their email, see if they say, hopefully one of those questions is, are you interested in my offer? Would you like more information about blah, blah, blah? And then if they say yes, those are your hot leads, right? So that's what's really powerful about those questions to qualify your audience. And I talk more about that, right, all in the challenge. So if you want to check those videos out, you certainly can. But keep in mind that if you invite friends to your Facebook group, they may not get those questions. So, and that's okay, right? At the beginning, especially if you're just wanting to grow your group, it is a great way to get quick 50 members in your group. Invite 50 friends, right, to join your group. Hopefully they are in your target audience, right? You probably have 50 moms that want to join your group, or 50 friends that would be at least able to support you, right? They might not be fully interested in what you have to offer, but they might be interested in at least supporting you, right? And you can always send them a message and be like, hey, I invited you to my group. I'd love to have you. I completely understand, no obligation, blah, 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 whatever. However you wanted to, right, send them a disclaimer, or preface that, right, with a little disclaimer that, hey, I would just love the support. What is great about inviting friends is that the more people that are in your Facebook group, the more Facebook is going to recommend your group, right, which is great. So you definitely want to get more members and get them engaging. So we'll talk about engaging in a minute, but that's really the goal, is to get more members into your group. It'll be easier to keep growing your group, right? So that's really the goal. So definitely tip number 1, invite friends, and keep inviting friends, but just keep note that they're not going to get those questions potentially, right? Which is kind of the whole point, right? Is to make sure that people get those questions so you can build your email list and follow up with them later. So keep that in mind. But number 2, this is, I think, the hardest part, right? And this is the best tip, but it is definitely the hardest part, is using other Facebook groups to advertise your Facebook group, right? If any of you are in a million Facebook groups, right, just like me, it's hard, right? And it's overwhelming. It's hard to decide what is a good Facebook group, what is being effective, where to put your information, all of those things, right? And this is where it's really important to be strategic. We don't want to just join a bunch of mom groups, right? And spam our links, or, right, all of that. But we really want to be strategic. So there are so many Facebook groups for just about anything, right? You can really niche down to your target audience. So if you are if you're selling products to other moms, right, you definitely want to be in a lot of moms groups. Many of those groups don't allow promotion, and that's okay. Some of them may allow promotion like 1 day a week, or or only on a specific thread, or something like that, right? So you definitely want to follow the rules of other Facebook groups, but take advantage of those promo days, take advantage of those promo posts, and have just a quick little blurb, right, about your Facebook group. And I always say, I think it is much easier to invite people to your Facebook group than send them to your website, right? Sending them to your website feels a bit more spammy, right? And I think Facebook sees it as a bit more spammy when you're dropping a bunch of outside links, right, in the comments. But if you're sharing a Facebook group, right, that's still within Facebook. So I think they see it as a little bit less spammy, but also I think it's a much more neutral invitation, right? So if you're selling products, it could just be a quick like, hey, offering VIP discounts for my best customers on blah, 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 mom's favorite, whatever products, blah, blah, blah. If you're a coach, definitely offer your freebie in that quick little blurb. Get a free website audit, get a free, for me, it's a social media audit, right? Get a free something when you join my group, and then drop your group link. So give something, right? You want to entice people to come on over to your group, or even just say, sharing free resources for moms in menopause, right? Sharing quick tips on how to cook weight loss meals, right? Or low calorie meals, or keto diet meals, or, whatever you wanted to say, whatever your group goal is. Definitely, I would try, and people are hard, right? It's hard for people to read details. I don't know about you, right? It's hard for me to read longer posts. So do a mix, right? Try a mix of maybe some longer posts in those comments in other Facebook groups. Try a longer post, or try just a quick blurb, right? Like, free social media audit, here's my Facebook group link, right? Free tips and resources on, how to parent. Free tips and resources on how to declutter, right? products for keeping your kids busy, right? Drop your Facebook group link, right? And so I see this a lot. What is really challenging as a business owner is we have a lot of stuff going on, right? We have maybe our freebie and our sign up on our website. We might have a blog. We have our Facebook profile. We have our Instagram profile, right? We have a lot of links that we could share. What I really think is great about the Facebook group is if you can just change your mindset to say, okay, this is my funnel, right? This is the best way for me to capture my audience because I want them to answer those questions, drop their email, and say yes to my free offer, right? So if you can just change your mindset to think, okay, I'm just gonna focus on sending everybody to my Facebook group. So whenever you are over in those other Facebook groups, if you just focus on one place to send people, right? And I get it, there are lots of Facebook posts, right, in other groups that are like, hey, follow Instagram, you know, so of course there you want to drop your Instagram or drop your website links, right? So then you could drop your website links there. But if you find more and more that are just a generic promote below, whatever you want to promote, definitely those are places I would stay consistent and try to only share your Facebook group link, right? Or have that be the majority of the thing that you share. I see so many business owners get a little bit muddied with this, right? They start sharing different things in different places and it's hard to get people to go to one place, right? It's hard to get anyone to do anything. But we want to kind of think about getting them to one place. And with the Facebook group, you can really think about it as your funnel, right? That's really where you are driving people and capturing information. And that's really where you want to send people. So if you can just focus on sending people to that one place, I think it is far easier, right? To just focus on, okay, whenever I'm in other Facebook groups, whenever I'm going to advertise, I really want to just send people to my Facebook group. That's my goal. So if you can just focus on, that's the one place you're going to send people for a while, right? Try it for a week, try it for a couple of weeks. Okay, I'm only going to share my Facebook group link and see how it goes, right? See how your group grows and if people are answering your questions, right? If people aren't answering the entry questions, you may want to think about changing your questions. I often see that sometimes in those questions we want to get, we want like their whole backstory. We want them, we want to know everything about them. Tell me about your journey, blah, blah. It's really hard, right? When someone doesn't know you and someone is just, scrolling by and Facebook recommended your group and now they've got to answer a whole, novel about their life. Like it's hard for people. So I always say, shoot for yes, no questions, drop your email below. That's really the goal, I think. So definitely think about inviting your friends to your Facebook group, right? I think that's one quick way to grow your group. The second one is really using other Facebook groups and really utilize where you can post your group link. Think about really only sharing that Facebook group link. If you want to grow your Facebook group, only share your Facebook group link, right? Quit sending people to your freebie over here, your Instagram account, blah, 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 your TikTok, all of those places. Just focus on sending people to your Facebook group link. So definitely look in other Facebook groups. You definitely want to make sure they are in your target audience. You definitely want to make sure that it is a hot group, right? That it's engaging. I see so many Facebook groups that have, 70, 100,000, members. They have lots of members, right? But no one is seeing any of the posts. No one is engaging. It is really easy to create a spammy group with a bunch of people who are allowed to post, right? Those groups, I think, are really hard to be in because everyone's posting about their business. No one is engaging. It's just a selfish little group, right? Everyone's just like, hey, here's me, here's me, here's me. No one is engaging with any of the posts. So you definitely want to make sure you're joining groups where people are engaging, where there's lots of posts per day, lots of members, and lots of engagement, meaning lots of comments, lots of likes. You want to make sure people are engaged in those groups. If you see a giant group and no one is responding in the comments, not a great group, right? And it's hit or miss, right? Sometimes there'll be maybe just the admin, people are responding to those posts, and maybe that's okay. Then maybe just think about commenting in those sections. But if you're allowed to post in groups, make sure they are groups that people are engaging with other posts, right? So just really be strategic about which groups that you're picking to spend your time, right? Your time is precious, so you really want to be engaging in the groups that are already engaging, right? Where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck. That's really the goal. All right, so that was tip number 2. Tip number 3, and I really think this is the secret sauce, right? A lot of people are not utilizing their whole picture, right? I love to look at marketing as a whole comprehensive strategy. You definitely have lots of pieces, right? You definitely have started something over here, and maybe it's not all working together. And that's really where I love to look at what you've started and get it all working cohesively into one lead generation system. And that's really where I think the Facebook group could really be valuable. So the third secret sauce, right, I think, is using DMs over on Instagram to invite people to your Facebook group. It is a great way to capture that audience. If any of you have noticed, right, Instagram is really hard for anyone to do anything. It's just not clickable, right? And I always like to say a quick caveat: if Instagram is the least clickable out of all the social media platforms, Pinterest is the most clickable out of all the social media platforms. So if you're looking to drive traffic, right, Pinterest is a great place to think about. So with that being said, right, if you are over on Instagram, it is a great place to build your audience. So you've probably noticed it's really easy to find your target audience, right? You can search by hashtags, usernames, all of those things. You can find your target audience really easy over on Instagram and follow them, and most people will follow you back. And then the more people you follow like that, Instagram is going to suggest more people like that. So it's really easy to grow your target audience over on Instagram, but it's really hard to get them to do anything with it, right? Most people are just scrolling on Instagram, maybe liking, very rarely commenting, right? And I always like to say, if you are wanting to get more comments on Instagram, definitely start commenting on other people's stuff, right? It's definitely a give and take. Same with Facebook groups, right? If you're wanting people to join your Facebook group, join other Facebook groups, right? It's a reciprocity, right? You definitely want to reciprocate and be a fellow human, be a fellow business owner, right? Support other businesses if you want people to support you. I always say that's a big caveat, right? So I get so many requests to that they want more capabilities in my group, and I think this person has never even supported me, right? How would I think about giving you special privileges if you have never even liked my page, come to a coffee chat, right? How would I think about supporting you if you have never supported me? It's hard, right? And I get that. And I feel like I support a lot of businesses far more before they ever support me. And that's okay. I love supporting other businesses, right? But don't come at me and don't ask others to support you if you have never yourself supported them. It's a really hard thing to do, right? But I think it's really important to be that reciprocal, fellow, genuine, kind, right, human being business owner, right? Think about being in their shoes, right? You want to support them before asking their support. I think that's really important. So, so the secret sauce, right, is use Instagram and invite them in the DMs. So once you find a perfect person who you think would be great in your target audience, I think it is a very neutral invitation, right? I don't think it's a spammy DM, right? And this is where I get a lot of pushback. Everyone is afraid of the DMs or cold DMs or spammy DMs. We've all gotten those spammy DMs, right? And that's why there's a fear there, right? It's a little bit of a mindset block that we think, well, I don't want to be spammy, so I'm not going to DMs. I'm not even going to jump in the DMs. There's a lot going on in the DMs, right? And there's a lot of potential there. I think it's a really neutral invitation to just say, hey, I saw that you were interested in my post on mindset. I'm sharing more tips and resources over in my Facebook group. I would love to have you. Right? I think it's a free group. It's a free offer. You don't have to buy anything. I would just love for you to come over and check it out, right? And then they get the 3 questions, right? And the 3 questions are your qualifying questions. Are you this person? Do you want, drop your email for my free blah, blah, blah? Are you interested in more information? And if they say yes, right? Boom, you have captured them from Instagram over into your funnel, and now they are in your email system and you can warm them up. You have their information. Much better than just a user over on Instagram who, right, they might follow you and that's the end of it. That's the end of that relationship, right? You want more. You want to build a relationship, start a conversation. You want to get them acting in your Facebook group and dropping their email and saying yes to your offers, right? So definitely think about using your audience over on Instagram to send them a DM and invite them to your Facebook group, right? You can do the same thing over on Facebook, right? I think Facebook Messenger is far more clunky and privacy setting blocking, right? It's much harder, I think, to send people a DM in Messenger unless you're friends, right? And you can certainly do that. You could friend them first and then send them a DM and say, hey, I saw that you're interested in blah, blah, blah. I'd love to have you over in my Facebook group, right? And I always say keep it short, right? You don't want to be a spammer and make them read a novel, right? Those are two no-nos, I think. But definitely think about, right, capturing your audience as a great way to capture your audience on Instagram and get them over to your Facebook group. Because that way they've answered the questions and you have captured their information. So that is really the goal, right? Because now they are a hot lead. They have taken action by joining your group. They have either dropped their email or said yes to your offer. That is a hot lead, right? As opposed to over on Instagram, I would not call that a lead if all they did was follow you, right? If all they did was follow you, they could be a spammer. They could be just wanting to grow their numbers. Right? You have no idea what their intentions are. So a follower is not a lead. A lead is someone who actually takes action and says yes to something that you offer. Says, yes, I'm interested. Yes, here's my email. They have taken action. They have joined your group. That's not a lead. It's not enough just to be a follower over on any of your social media profiles, right? You want more. You want to start that conversation. You want to start that relationship. Get them over into your Facebook group. So that's really the goal. So those are the three, I think, best ways to grow your Facebook group and why it's so important. You want to qualify your leads. You don't just want spammers, followers over on your social media profiles, right? You want qualified leads who are actually interested in your information and interested in your business. And that's where the Facebook group really qualifies your leads. Then the three easiest ways to grow are invite your friends, because you probably have people in your target audience that are your friends. Then use other Facebook groups, right? So advertise or drop in the comments your Facebook group link and focus on, for a while, just sending your Facebook group link, right? So there's a million different ways that you could advertise, right? If it says a promote post, right? There's a million different ways that you could send people, but if you just focus on sending people to your Facebook group, that way they're answering the questions and you're capturing their information, right? So focus on just sending people to your Facebook group. That's your funnel, right? That's your lead generation funnel. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is DM people in Instagram, right? Use the DMs to invite people. It's a very neutral invitation. I don't think it's spammy. We're offering, right? We're talking more tips and resources over in my Facebook group. We'd love to have you, right? We're talking all about this. I saw that you were interested in A. We're talking about XYZ over here. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have your input. I'd love to have you join the discussion, right? There's a million different ways that you could say this, whatever pertains to your business, but it's a really neutral invitation. Hey, I saw that you were involved in motivational speaking. We're talking more about public speaking tips over, or I have my podcast, I'm talking about this over in my Facebook group, or we're sharing tips and resources over in my Facebook group. We'd love to have you, right? So all of those things, there's definitely a non-spammy way to say what you want to say, right? I always say, women, we need to learn to be a bit more direct, especially when it comes to our business, right? It is okay to want to make money, right? It is okay to sell your services and products, right? We just have to be a little bit more direct and offer something, right? Be genuine. We don't have to be pushy. We can be direct, but offer your services and products, but also offer a free Facebook group, right? Give some free tips and resources and give something to your audience that they would want to give their email for, right? I always think that's such a great exchange of energy, right? You want to give them something that's valuable to them in exchange for their email, and then you can follow up with your products and services. And it's okay to follow up with your products and services, right? They know you're a business, you want to make money, be direct about it, right? Here's what I offer, here's what I am. So I think those are some really important ways to, hopefully that will help you grow your Facebook group. I would love to hear what you think about any of those. And if you have 2 action items that you have taken away from today, I would love to hear what are your 2 action items that you're going to do to apply to your business today to help it grow. I would love to hear about them. So the next part is really after you have grown your Facebook group or are in the process, it's really a twofold process, right? We want to get hot new leads, qualified leads coming into our group every single day. Once we have that kind of system moving and we're getting people in there And really, it's kind of at the same time, right? At the twofold process. We want new people coming in and we want to engage within the group. And that's where it really takes engaging content, right? And that is where the hard part can really be, right? If any of you have grown your Facebook group, right? And then once you get people in your group, people just don't take action. And it's hard, right? It's hard to keep a group healthy and engaging. And that's really where I come in. I am really good at coming up with creative content to ask questions and get people engaging within your group. I think every group is still viable. We just have to find the right ways to ask questions and get people engaging within your group. The two things that Facebook is going to look for if they're going to advertise or suggest your group to other people is lots of members and lots of engagement. So you definitely want to have at least one post per day going in your group, scheduled in your group, and you definitely want to have people commenting. If you have more posts than that, that's great. But if you have, 5 posts a day and nobody's responding to any of them, maybe don't work so hard, right? That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for not a lot of results, right? So definitely think about starting with just one post per day and really get that one post per day engaging. Get people commenting, get people engaging with that one post per day. And that would be a much more healthy, viable group than a bunch of posts that no one is responding to, right? So that is really where I can come in and really look at your group and give you a customized approach to how to move your business forward and how to get people engaging within your group. It's really important to, I always say, treat your group like a party, right? You don't want to go to a party where the host only talks about themselves, right? That wouldn't be a fun party. So you want to be the host of the party, and you want your customers, you want your members of your group to be talking to each other. So you want to start the conversation, right? You're the facilitator. You are starting the discussion, and you want their discussion to be, around your offers and services, certainly, so that you can pipe in with your expertise, right? That's the point. But you want to get them talking with each other. You don't want it to just be like, hey, here's my group, here's me, this is what I offer, this is me, it's me again. Right? That would be a boring party. Nobody would go up to that party again. So you want to be the host of a party and get your members talking to each other. So start the discussion, ask some questions, right? Get people engaging, and that's really the secret, I think, to getting engaging posts within your group. That's the goal. And then, of course, you can sprinkle in your offers and services, right? There's nothing wrong with having a few posts per week that say nothing more than, I'd love to help you with blah, 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 who's interested? Or here's my new product, what do you guys think? Or who's interested in this? Or I've got this new freebie, here it is, right? Whatever that looks like for your business. But that's where I really think it takes a little bit of that customized approach, because every business is so different, right? And it's really hard to get people coming into your group as well as people engaging within your group. It's really that twofold process. You want it kind of working at the same time. It's not enough to just invite a bunch of new people in your group and then have nothing for them to engage with within the group, right? It's also not enough to have a few engagers and not getting new people into your group every single day. You want it to be growing, you want new people, you want new leads, you want to build this lead generation system that is getting you 5 to 10 qualified leads to your business every single day. That's the goal. So I would love to help with that. If that's something that you're struggling with, if you're struggling with content for your group, getting people engaged within your group, reigniting the energy within your group, I would love to help. Just say strategy below. I would love to reach out to you. I always offer a free 15-minute call where we can look at your group, see what's working, see what's not working. I can usually offer some free ideas to help you kind of get over that hump and get it moving again. So if that's something you're interested in, just say strategy below. I always say coaching is so valuable because you're really getting, like I said, that customized approach, as well as it's so easy for us to get deep in the weeds with our own business, right? It often takes an outside perspective, I think, to give that kind of 30,000 foot view and be like, hey, if this isn't working, stop doing that, right? Or this could work a little bit better, try this. It really takes, I think, an outside view, and that's where coaching is really valuable. I always say the big secret is coaches use other coaches, right? If you are thinking about wanting to move your business forward, especially if it's a coaching business and you are struggling to get leads, I would love to help. This Facebook group system is a really great way to get 5 to 10 qualified leads to your business every single day. That's really the secret, is getting people to take action and getting the right people to see your content. and as well as getting engaging posts and getting them to warm up to you, your services, to know, like, and trust you, right? That's really the goal. So definitely, if you are struggling with any of these pieces, I would love to help. I would love to help you grow your group and to set it up as an engaging group that is getting you qualified leads every single day. So definitely feel free to reach out. If you have any other questions about any of this process, just let me know. I know that you are a DIYer, right? I know if you're here, you're watching this video, you can watch all the free content in the world, right? You can do it yourself. I know you're resourceful. But it's really going to take you a little bit longer to do it yourself, right? Why not use the information from the people that have made all the mistakes, right? Learn from me so that you don't have to make the mistakes, right? I made all the mistakes so that you don't have to. Don't waste years, right? It's going to take you a little bit longer to learn it on your own, right? And I don't want that for you, right? I don't want you to waste the years that I did. I want you to move your business forward today. I want you to move your business forward in the next 6 months, right? You need to be getting leads tomorrow, not next year, right? You don't have years to waste. So don't waste years. Definitely take action today. If you are interested, just say strategy below. I would love to reach out to you and help you move your business forward. Often, right, when we are afraid of taking that next step, I always say nothing comes from growth can't come from if you're staying in your comfort zone, right? It always takes a little bit of that risk. And I always say it is far scarier to stay in your comfort zone than to take that scary risk outside of your comfort zone, right? Your growth is only going to happen when you can step out of your comfort zone and take a little bit of that risk, right? Take the new information to move your business forward. It is far scarier to stay stuck and not have any hope or any ideas of how to move forward, right? I always think that is far scarier to stay where you are as opposed to moving your business forward, or at least having a plan to move your business forward, right? I think that is far scarier to not have a plan. So definitely think about, think about taking some information from me, right? Think about some coaching for your business. Think about having that free call. I would love to set that up and learn more about your business, and I would love to help you move your business forward. All right, I think that is everything for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. I am looking forward to growing your Facebook groups with you and seeing them grow. Feel free to post your Facebook groups below. I would love to join and check them out for you.